Nah.
That was more than 5 minutes started.
What, about 6 minutes, Mr. Shell?
About 6,
About
yeah.
6. Okay, next item on the agenda, item 9, Superintendent's Report.
None.
Thank you. Item 10, under consensus items, items A, Personnel, Appendix G, Dr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Request the board approve the personnel matters as presented.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item B, change of school assignments, Appendix H, Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the board, ask that you approve the release of this student to a neighboring county whose parent is employed in that school district.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item 11, I see no old business. So we'll go to item 12 on the new business. Item A, Appy City contract, Appendix I, Dawn Brinson.
Yes, I request that the board approve the service agreement from Appy City for the 16-17 school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item B, North Carolina Medicaid Administrative Claim Program Participation Agreement, Appendix J, Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the board, this is a required agreement that you must approve for us to be able to claim our Medicaid reimbursement, so I ask that you please approve this.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item C, Curriculum Associate Software, Appendix K, Dr. Smith.
Yes, I would ask for the board's approval of the Curriculum Associate sole source resolution. The product that we're purchasing is iReady, which is both an instructional software and also a diagnostic software. And it provides support to our priority schools and also Sunset Park Elementary School in the areas of reading and mathematics.
Okay.
I'd like to move for approval.
Second.
I do have a question though.
Yes, sir.
Could, understand you used this at Sunset Park as a pilot. Am I reading that right?
Yes, sir.
What did you learn that made you want to use it in the other schools?
Well, as you know, it's very hard to attribute any one thing to significant improvements in academic achievement at a particular school because teachers are providing multiple interventions at that school with the children that they serve. But when we went back and had conversations with teachers and we spoke to the administration, utilization and also the instructional coach, utilization of this program and this product was one of the things that they touted very, very highly and felt did have a significant impact in those academic outcomes. And so we wanted to extend the use of this with some of our most underperforming schools in the district and try to replicate those outcomes for those schools as well.
If they didn't use this, what would they use?
If it wasn't purchased by the district, then the school had plans to purchase it on their own.
So this was it either way.
Say again?
I guess I misunderstood that last.
So that's specifically the Sunset. So Sunset was planning to allocate their individual school funds to purchase this product because they felt so strongly that it had positively impacted their student outcomes. For the other schools in the district, it's very likely that some of them would have done this, but on a much smaller scale, so taking some of their existing resources and allocating to this. In the absence of this, it would require teachers to do that analysis of student performance. So this is both diagnostic and prescriptive, so students take assessments, it generates a report for you, it lets you know the starting points, and then it prescribes a course of study for those particular students. And the teacher manages that and ensures that it's delivered, you know, with the number of repetitions and with the quality that's required. So in the absence of that, all of that would have fallen to the teachers.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item D, UNCW Marine Science Academy Memorandum of Understanding, Appendix L. Smith.
Yes, we would ask for the board's approval of the UNCW Marine Science Academy Memorandum of Understanding, with the understanding also that we've got some small tweaks that we need to make in terms of the dates. It was signed by the Chancellor at UNCW, but once we correct those dates, then we'll have it signed by our board if approved tonight.
Okay with that understanding?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Item E, Alternative High Schools Accountability Model, Appendix M. Smith.
Yes, thank you. We would ask for the board's approval of the Alternative Schools Accountability Model. Annually, we bring to you a recommendation for our alternative schools to utilize a different accountability model than the one that our traditional schools utilize. Specifically, this model includes 20% of their overall outcome score to student persistence, so students who start with them finish with them. It also provides for 20% of that score to be represented by student achievement, which is based on the traditional accountability model, and then the 60% of it is based on growth. And we believe that this option represents more fairly the work of the teachers and the students at our alternative schools. We don't think that the traditional models accurately reflect the outcomes for those students, given all of the challenges that they face.
I'll move for approval, but I do have a question after it's seconded.
I will second it.
Mr.
All right,
Higgins.
my question is this.
Yes, sir.
The Rose Center is a suspension center, which means students are going to be coming and going. I
It
mean,
also houses the Pathway Program, which is the long-term suspension program.
okay, but, okay, that's, I am confused. I read the article in the paper that said that on any given week, we have roughly 186 students in a suspension status. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I take that as being true. But if students are going to be coming into the Rose Center and out of the Rose Center and maybe back to the Rose Center, I mean, I don't understand how you can evaluate the Rose Center when you don't have a cadre of students on a regular basis.
And that's an excellent point, and therein why we look to an alternative model for those schools. So it may be that there are only 40 students that comprise their overall performance composite, just simply because you only have 40 students who began at that school and ended at that school. So if we were to not request and seek your approval for this alternative model, then we would have to use that traditional model by which to evaluate that school. But every school in the state is required to have an accountability model.
Okay, well, I guess you're recommending option C, alternative school may participate in alternative school progress model. I don't understand why, if students may be coming and going, it's not option B.
So the students who are coming and going are not going to be fully enrolled in Row. It's going to
Okay.
be, as Dr. Markley said, those students who are in our Pathways program, because they're there for a duration, for a significant period of time.
So are the pathway students the only ones that count?
They'll be the vast majority.
Well, I mean, how do you count somebody who's only there 10 or so days?
Those kids will,
Huh?
go ahead, Dr. Holliday.
Pathway students will be there a semester long.
Okay, that I understand.
Those are really the only ones that impact us. The short-term suspension students are gonna be counted in their schools. The transition students are gonna be counted in their schools as they go back, because they're not gonna be there, most of them, for a significant amount of time. This model allows us
Okay, I wanted a clarification about how B and C differed from each other. No, I think you've explained.
Whereas we can't, whereas the stores are embargoed, but if we looked at some data today, this model for current Lakeside, which is a pathway student, serves as well.
Okay, all right, thank you,
Is that right, Karen?
thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved.
Thank-
Item F,
Thank you.
North Carolina Education Lottery applications for 2016-17 capital construction projects, Appendix N. Mr. Hance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Request that the board approve the North Carolina Education Lottery applications for the various projects listed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Questions?
Yes, please. Mr. Hance, haven't you presented this to us? Haven't we approved this list prior? Now
been-
we're approving the money to go with it.
Yes, there have been other lists that have come before you.
So this
Right,
isn't the
this
first
is the-
time we've seen this.
Yes.
This is just our opportunity to connect the lottery funds to it. Am I thinking right?
If I may,
Yeah.
the original budget, we had our proposed projects that we were asking for your approval of which ones we would then apply for. This is the actual application that has to be approved by you, by the county commissioners, and ultimately by the state for each project.
So you saw this as part of the budget process. This is just the next step for these projects.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item G, for the last time, Mr. Hance, how appropriate, surplus list, Appendix O. Mr.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Request that the board approve the surplus list. This is property which is no longer necessary or desirable.
Sorry to say, there are certain things you have to read about that
That's
list.
right. No longer necessary or desirable for public school use. Purposes, excuse me.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item H, Wilmington Health Access for Teens Contract, Appendix P. Dr. Holliday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. A couple of meetings ago, we came to you with the contracts for the other Watt centers in our schools. And the question has been for a long time, what about Hoggard? What about Hoggard? Well, tonight I bring you good news. We're ready to go with Hoggard. The reason we could not bring Hoggard at the last meeting when we had the rest of the school-based centers is because the county had not yet appropriated the funds for that. The county did give us a one-time fund to get Hoggard open. Dr. Sullivan, myself, Joy Grady, who is here tonight, and Margaret Stargell, who is the executive director for Coastal Horizons, which is now over the Watt Centers. And I met, and we're going to be ready to go. We're going to have at least a mental health person in there ready to go to start with, and then as we move into the year, we'll have the space divided, and the $100,000 that the county gave us will help us to upfit that space. So I'm asking you to please go ahead and approve this tonight so that we can have all 4 of our comprehensive high schools with a school-based health center.
Move for approval.
Second.
Questions? Ms. Jill?
Go ahead. I didn't know if she would like to make a comment. I mean, you've been sitting here a while tonight. Is there something you'd like to say?
Thank you so much. I do appreciate your support. We are, find ourselves, in Hanover County Schools in Wilmington as a leader again in the state in growth. That was one of the things that our national conference and our state conference had sort of put down a mandate for us to grow school-based health centers. And we're glad that we can proudly say now that we're in all 4 high schools. I thank you for that.
Any other comments, questions?
Just like to thank the county for the appropriation. This is a one-time appropriation to make this happen. The program runs on its own budget after this. This just helps get them started, so public thanks to them.
Any other comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 13 is our call to the audience for non-agenda items. Our first speaker, please limit comments to 3 minutes, Sarah Preeb.
Thanks for letting me speak. My name is Sarah Preeby. I'm a former physics teacher, high school physics teacher, a current resident of the county, and currently I'm a database administrator. I have two suggestions and a comment. The first suggestion is that I took an interest in the last meeting in your bullying policy. So I went through your website and I found some minor inconsistencies. And I was hoping that you could appoint somebody to take a look at that. There's a 2011 policy statement that hasn't been revised since 2011. And then there's a 2013-2014 school year PowerPoint presentation, which seems like you were going to add more to your bullying policy, but I didn't see that reflected in the actual policy statement. The other comment is I'm kind of hoping for some reporting statistics. I'm under the impression that Dr. Markley is reporting to the state board, so the data should already be available. You're entering it into a database. What I was hoping for is that you would publish on the website, you would group the reports of bullying incidents by the motivation of the bullying, such as developmental disability, race, skinny jeans, or gender identity, for example. And then I was hoping you would report the number of cases that were reported and then say how many of those were confirmed. I believe in 2014 you had 400 cases reported and a little less than half of those were confirmed as actual bullying or harassment. And finally, my comment is, during my research, I saw a quote that I really liked. It said, "You can't legislate kindness, but you can teach it." And that was by Ms. Estep. And I was pretty impressed by the compassionate leadership she's shown with exceptional students. And I think it's that kind of leadership that will help all students find a safe and inclusive learning environment. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item 14, closed session. Mr. Bullard, if you'd give us the legal number that we need to insert there.
Yes, sir. The statute is 143-318.11A6 for personnel.
I move we go into closed session for the legislation documented by the attorney.
Should be very brief.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We are in closed session.